Walk into any modern gym and you are immediately bombarded by a culture obsessed with immediate nutritional gratification. People chug brightly colored shakes the second they drop their weights, driven by an underlying anxiety that their hard work will evaporate without an instant infusion of nutrients. This pervasive fitness marketing has convinced millions that building strength is a fragile race against the clock. But what if this frantic rush is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of human biology? The fitness industry pushes high protein intake with relentless urgency, often treating the human body like a simple machine that requires immediate refueling to function. We are sold the idea of a closing anabolic window, a brief period where you must consume nutrients or lose out on all potential gains. This narrative creates unnecessary stress and turns nutrition into a rigid, unforgiving chore. The truth, however, is far more resilient and deeply fascinating than any marketing campaign would have you believe. To truly grasp how our bodies adapt and grow, we must look inward at a continuous, microscopic cycle of destruction and creation. Muscle is not static tissue, it is in a constant state of turnover. Every moment of every day, your body is breaking down older, damaged cellular structures and simultaneously building them back up. This dynamic balancing act is the foundation of physical resilience, ensuring that our tissues remain functional, adaptable, and primed for the demands of daily life. This continuous rebuilding mechanism is scientifically known as muscle protein synthesis. Demystifying this biological phenomenon is the key to understanding your true nutritional needs. Muscle protein synthesis, or MPS, is the specific anabolic process by which your body repairs and builds muscle tissue using the raw materials derived from your diet. It is the silent, ongoing work of physical renewal operating far beyond the confines of a gym session or a post workout rush. The raw materials driving this renewal are amino acids, the fundamental building blocks of life. When you consume dietary protein, your digestive system breaks it down into these essential molecules, releasing them into your bloodstream. Think of them as specialized cellular mechanics circulating through your body, waiting for the signal to begin repairs. Without a steady supply of these essential amino acids, the rebuilding phase falters and the delicate balance of tissue turnover tips toward breakdown. Understanding this microscopic workforce fundamentally changes how we view our meals. We are not simply eating to satisfy hunger, we are providing the necessary inventory for an ongoing construction project. Focusing on the actual biological process reveals that the body is highly efficient at storing and utilizing these amino acids over extended periods. You do not need to drown your system in excessive supplements to keep the cellular mechanics working optimally. This brings us back to the infamous anabolic window, one of the most pervasive myths in modern health culture. Decades of aggressive marketing have convinced us that this window slams shut within 30 to 60 minutes after exercise, yet rigorous clinical studies paint a vastly different picture of human metabolism. The reality is that the physiological doorway for muscle protein synthesis remains wide open for 24 to 48 hours following a strenuous workout. During this extended period, the tissue remains highly sensitized to the amino acids circulating in your blood. The anabolic process is not a fleeting spark, but a sustained, slow burning fire that requires consistent fuel over days, not minutes. When you challenge your body through resistance training, you are merely flipping the switch to initiate synthesis. The actual construction work happens long after you have left the gym, while you are working, resting, and especially while you are sleeping. This extended sensitivity means that total daily intake often matters far more than precise timing. Instead of stressing over a post workout shake, your energy is better spent ensuring you consume adequate dietary protein throughout the entire day. By distributing your intake across multiple meals, you provide a steady, reliable stream of amino acids to support continuous muscle turnover. This approach aligns perfectly with our natural digestive rhythms and removes the artificial urgency created by supplement companies. However, determining that total daily intake can be confusing in a landscape cluttered with conflicting advice. Some sources advocate for massive carnivorous quantities, while others suggest absolute minimums that leave active individuals severely under recovering. The optimal amount is not a universal fixed number, but a moving target influenced by your unique lifestyle, activity level, and metabolic health. Blindly following a generic fitness influencer's diet plan often leads to either costly overconsumption or frustrating stagnation. Current nutritional science provides a much clearer, evidence based framework for calculating these individual needs. For a sedentary adult, the baseline requirement is generally around zero point 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, just enough to maintain basic cellular functions. But for those actively challenging their bodies through exercise, that requirement jumps significantly. Research consistently shows that active individuals thrive on 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram, providing the surplus necessary to drive robust muscle protein synthesis. Translating those numbers into daily life is simpler than it seems. For a person weighing 75 kilograms who exercises regularly, this means aiming for roughly 120 to 165 grams of protein daily. This target can easily be met through a balanced diet of whole foods without relying on expensive powders or synthetic bars. The focus shifts from obsessive micromanagement to a sustainable, broad strokes approach to daily nourishment. As we journey through different stages of life, the rules governing this biological construction site begin to subtly change. Aging introduces a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance, where the body becomes less efficient at utilizing dietary protein to trigger synthesis. The cellular mechanics are still present, but they require a louder biological signal to wake up and start working. This gradual shift in metabolic efficiency is a primary driver behind age related muscle loss, a condition known as sarcopenia. Combating this age related decline requires a proactive adjustment in our nutritional strategy. Older adults actually need higher per meal doses of protein to overcome anabolic resistance and stimulate the same level of muscle turnover as a younger person. By consciously increasing the protein density of their meals, seniors can effectively bypass this biological hurdle. This targeted nutritional intervention is crucial for maintaining independence, preventing falls, and preserving a high quality of life well into our later decades. Clinical observations highlight the profound impact of this tailored approach on longevity. Studies tracking older populations reveal that those who adapt their diets to include higher, more frequent doses of essential amino acids retain significantly more functional strength. They are not just preserving tissue, they are actively defending their metabolic health and physical autonomy. The science proves that our bodies remain highly responsive to the right interventions, regardless of the number of candles on the birthday cake. This evolving need underscores the importance of viewing nutrition as a lifelong adaptable practice rather than a static set of rules. What worked perfectly for you in your 20s will likely need refinement in your 50s and beyond. Embracing this reality allows us to age with grace and power, continuously giving our bodies exactly what they need to thrive. The narrative shifts from a desperate fight against time to a strategic, informed partnership with our own biology. Beyond age, our underlying metabolic health plays a massive role in how effectively we utilize nutrients. Conditions like insulin resistance, often brought on by chronic stress, poor sleep, and highly processed diets, can severely blunt the body's anabolic response. When cells become deaf to insulin, they also struggle to absorb the amino acids required for muscle protein synthesis. This creates a frustrating cycle where even a perfect diet fails to yield the expected physical results. Breaking this cycle requires a holistic perspective that looks beyond the plate and the barbell. Improving insulin sensitivity through adequate sleep, stress management, and regular movement restores the body's ability to efficiently process dietary protein. When the metabolic environment is healthy, the cellular signals for growth and repair transmit loud and clear. It is a powerful reminder that our biological systems are deeply interconnected and true health cannot be compartmentalized. The source of your nutrients also dictates the efficiency of this entire operation. Not all proteins are created equal when it comes to stimulating synthesis. Animal-based proteins are generally considered complete, containing all 9 essential amino acids in proportions that closely match human biological requirements. They provide a highly bioavailable immediate workforce for the body's ongoing construction projects, triggering a robust anabolic response with relatively small serving sizes. However, a thriving, strong body can absolutely be built on a plant based diet with a bit of strategic planning. Plant proteins often lack 1 or 2 essential amino acids, but combining different sources, like beans and rice, creates a complete profile. For those prioritizing plant based nutrition, simply consuming a slightly higher total volume of protein ensures the body receives the full spectrum of necessary building blocks. The biological requirement remains the same, only the delivery method changes. It is time we finally discard the exhausting, hyper optimized narrative pushed by the supplement industry. You do not need to constantly obsess over nutrient timing, nor do you require a cabinet full of expensive, highly processed powders to be healthy. The human body is an ancient, incredibly resilient system that has evolved to extract what it needs from whole, natural foods. By stripping away the marketing noise, we uncover a much simpler, more intuitive approach to physical well being. When we align our habits with the genuine science of muscle turnover, nutrition transforms from a source of anxiety into a tool for empowerment. We learn to trust our bodies, providing them with consistent, high quality nourishment and allowing the natural processes of repair to unfold. This informed perspective frees us to enjoy our meals, focus on the joy of movement, and live without the constant fear of losing our hard earned progress. As research continues to illuminate the intricacies of human metabolism, the core message remains steadfastly optimistic. We possess a profound ability to shape our physical destiny through consistent, informed choices. Whether you are an elite athlete pushing the boundaries of performance or a grandparent striving to stay active with your family, the principles of tissue renewal apply equally to you. The power to build and rebuild is woven into the very fabric of your DNA. Understanding how muscle protein synthesis works in you is not about chasing perfection, but about fostering a resilient, capable body for the long haul. It is about giving your cellular mechanics the essential amino acids they need, respecting the continuous anabolic process, and embracing the steady rhythm of dietary protein across your lifetime. Armed with this clarity, you can step away from the noise and confidently build a foundation of health that will support you through every chapter of your life.